All right, y'all. So, breaking news for all boxing fans. So, according to Michael Benson on Twitter, Oleksandr Usyk, or Alexander Usyk, however you want to pronounce it, has declared that he wants to fight Deontay Wilder next because Tyson Fury may face Anthony Joshua instead of him. Usyk added that he intends to be ringside for Wilder's comeback fight versus Robert Helenius on October 15th in New York, right? And this information was said to come from the Ring magazine. Now, a lot of y'all may wonder, what are my thoughts on this? My thoughts are that the heavyweight division is as exciting as it's ever been right now. The heavyweight division is really is booming. It's booming. So many potential great fights can be made, from Tyson Fury to Anthony Joshua to Deontay Wilder to Anthony Joshua to Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz to Deontay Wilder versus Oleksandr Usyk to Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Like, so many different potential matchups. And it's like, like, for real, if you're a boxing fan, there's no way you can hear this and not be excited. Say what you want about Deontay Wilder. Say that, you may think he's a one-trick pony. He isn't the best pugilist. He isn't the technical magician or technical tactician in the ring that you like to watch or whatever. He may not possess certain boxing qualities that you think all the great heavyweights had. However, what you do know is that whenever he's in a fight, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be some knockdowns. A potential knockout is there. He's going to try to swing and go for the gusto and deliver some devastating blows to get his opponent out of there, which is exciting for the heavyweight division within itself. It's super exciting to me right now because Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder were once sitting on top of the heavyweight division. Now both of those individuals are on a road to redemption. You got Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, who, like, they have a build-up for a possible mega fight between the two, depending on how they do against if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fights. If Tyson Fury is victorious, it'll boost his resume even more, his stock even more. And then if Usyk defeats Deontay Wilder, if Deontay Wilder gets past Robert Helenius, it'll boost his stock even more. And then you just have this mega fight where these two giants are getting into the ring and seeing who's the best of this heavyweight era, right? But a fight with Deontay Wilder and Oleksandr Usyk, fam, I love this fight. I love this damn fight. Again, this is an opportunity for the Bronze Bomber to become a unified champ once again and have several straps and become a two-time heavyweight champion, which is something that he's been vying for since that loss, since the second fight against Tyson Fury, right? He's been aiming to be two-time heavyweight champion of the world. We had possible him taking a sabbatical from the sport. And then you had people wondering if he was pondering with retirement. Was he ever going to come back? So on and so forth. And when he announced that he was coming back against Robert Helenius, a lot of people got excited because when Deontay Wilder is in the mix like this, it bodes well for the sport. Like, you need a guy in there who don't give a damn about, I hate to say it, who doesn't give a damn about trying to outpoint you. A guy in the heavyweight division that is going for the kill. And that's what he's at. That's exactly the game plan every single time. So, of course, he's going to have a significant game plan that's a little different going against Oleksandr Usyk. The guy presents a different type of threat. He's a different type of technician. You can even say he may be more skilled than Tyson Fury, even though he's much smaller than Tyson Fury, right? Right now, he's had some fights at heavyweight division, so he's in the heavyweight division. He's a champion in the division. He's won the belt and then defended the belt. So he's getting comfortable in the heavyweight division. But one thing we know is that he's never faced a fighter who punches as hard as Deontay Wilder. As Oleksandr Usyk can say, Deontay Wilder has never faced a guy of the pedigree of Oleksandr Usyk. So it's going to be really, like, it's definitely going to be something to, like, I'm excited to watch. If Deontay Wilder wins this fight, shit, like, he back on top of the world, and then he still has a potential matchup for undisputed with Tyson Fury if Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua. Then Usyk, if he beats Deontay Wilder, this is a chance for him to build his profile in America. Because on American soil, Usyk isn't a star here. You know, Tyson Fury has gained stardom here from the fights with Deontay Wilder, with his gamesmanship, the way he can talk, his charisma, just mic skills. He gained a fan base here, right? Usyk, a guy that doesn't really speak English like that, is going to be hard for him. But if they see him being able to, if he puts on a great showing, a beautiful showing against Deontay Wilder, then it's a chance for him to build his fan base. in the Mecca in New York City. In my opinion, this fight will go something like this. I think Usyk will outbox Deontay Wilder cleanly for majority of the fight if the fight occurs, right? However, I don't know how Usyk will respond once he gets hit cleanly by Deontay Wilder. Now you got people out there saying Deontay never going to hit him cleanly. Listen, I think Tyson Fury gets like some of the best head movement I've ever seen in the heavyweight division during my era, right? And Deontay Wilder was still able to land on him several times to drop him. Usyk, I still think Deontay Wilder's gonna land on Usyk. I really do. I think eventually he's gonna land, and he's gonna land and hit hard. And it shall be seen if Usyk has the mental fortitude, and if he has the dog, and if he can muster up whatever he can to get up from those devastating punches. Because that punch Deontay Wilder hit Tyson Fury with in that third fight, I said, if any other heavyweight got hit with that punch, it's good night, Irene. You can take the L out of Lover Brother, stick a fork in him. It's over. It's a Reynolds wrap. I felt like that, right? I think if Usyk get hit with a shot like that, I don't know. Even if he gets up, I don't know how well he will recover. I don't know if he can recover like Tyson Fury did to try to come back and prevent the onslaught. Usyk ain't been hit by that type of heavyweight power. So that shall be seen. What can he do when he's standing, like when he's face to face, looking at that bomb in that right hand, looking it right down the barrel? We'll see what he can do, right? But again, man, I think that Usyk can box circles around Deontay for majority of the fight. He's just that skilled. He has that boxing pedigree. But all it takes is one punch from Deontay to put Usyk down, and that really is what makes for an exciting matchup, man. I know that if he's really serious about wanting to fight Deontay, if Deontay defeats Robert Helenius, Deontay will do everything in his power to scrap the Andy Ruiz fight. Because there's been murmurs that the Andy Ruiz fight is next. If Deontay Wilder is to beat Robert Helenius, Deontay Wilder cannot overlook Robert Helenius. Of course, he really can't, for sure, because Helenius can be a dangerous opponent. He has really, really good punching power. But if he defeats Robert Helenius, it's a potential matchup with him and Andy Ruiz. I think if Usyk is for real, Deontay Wilder doing anything he can to get that fight out of the way with Ruiz, and he's trying to go back for the heavyweight title. I think him and Malik Scott, that is the focus for him to be heavyweight champion again. And if they don't have to go through the road of fighting Ruiz to get another shot, they cool with that. They gonna go straight. They gonna gun straight for the guy. That got the belt. One of the guys that got the belts, Oleksandr Usyk. And you know what, man? I think that this is great. This is great. Deontay Wilder is bloodthirsty to be back at the top of the heavyweight division and to have some straps on him. He's bloodthirsty for that. So I'm excited to see what will be the game plan for Usyk. Because Malik Scott is an astute boxing mind. He just has to get Deontay to apply those things in the ring. That's why I'm glad the comeback fight is against Robert Helenius. Not saying that Helenius, he's a dangerous opponent for sure. He's dangerous for Wilder. But I didn't want him to come in and try to go right for the gusto and go right to Andy Ruiz, because I wanted Deontay to try to apply, and to see what weight he should be at. Now, from the last fight against Tyson Fury, it's obvious he should never be no 238, right? I want him to see what weight he should be at and be comfortable in it, and then try to apply some of the boxing knowledge that him and Malik Scott have been practicing in the gym. And a fighter like Robert Helenius, it's better to try to apply some of those things and see what works against a guy like that versus a guy like Andy Ruiz or a guy like Oleksandr Usyk fresh out the gate. So I really want to see what Wilder and Malik Scott's game plan is going to be for this fight, right? We got one guy in Usyk who is a pure technician who has mastered the sweet science of the sport. And then we got another guy who is blood and guts and looking to decapitate an opponent with every single blow. Now, this is going to I think it could make for a good fight, because at some point, Usyk is going to have to engage with Deontay Wilder and vice versa, right? Sometimes people can look like a brawler versus a technician can be boring because they think it could be so one-sided if the brawler cannot hit the technician. But the thing is, I think Deontay can hit Oleksandr Usyk, and I think he can hit him cleanly, right? So it's still going to be a good fight, man. I'm just glad this is not two guys trying to outpoint each other, because that we can have a real stalemate in that type of situation. It can make for a boring fight. But I think we got the potential to have a barn burner type of fight with drama in it, and I think everybody likes drama in fights. Now, people are going to find it interesting that Usyk wants to fight Deontay Wilder after he told Tyson Fury he needed until the springtime to heal up from an injury, right? Because Tyson Fury wanted to fight in December. Usyk, like, he needed a break until the springtime. And now it looked like, hold on, well, you choosing to fight Deontay Wilder, which we know is probably going to happen before the spring. So what's the difference? And to me, it seems like he believes he sees Deontay Wilder as an easier opponent, right? Who is ripe for the picking. He feel like Deontay ripe for the picking. He's an easier opponent, and he feels that he can beat Deontay Wilder even without having the necessary time off he requested from Tyson Fury. He feel like for a Tyson Fury fight, he needs ample time to prepare, and he needs to be at his peak, his best, to beat Tyson Fury. And with Deontay, he feel like he don't have to be at his best. I mean, he could really he feels like he can handily beat Deontay Wilder. And if I'm Deontay Wilder, I'm looking at that and saying, oh no, this motherfucker think I'm sweet. He think he's just gonna kick my ass and steamroll me in front of the crowd in New York. And Deontay gotta be looking like, hold on, I gotta use this as motivation. But be smart in your game plan, be smart in your aggression. And that's what he has to learn, to be smart within his aggression, which is what Malik Scott is trying to teach him. Deliver your aggression in a smart and an intelligent way. But yeah, it's either that he feels like Deontay Wilder is right for the picking, or he himself is just trying to stay active because he knows that Tyson Fury is going to be in shape and active with fighting a guy like Tyson Fury. But either way, he going to be fighting Deontay before the springtime, and he told Tyson he needed until the springtime. So to me, he does view Deontay Wilder as a much simpler task than Tyson Fury. Again, I just hope that he doesn't underestimate Deontay Wilder going into this fight, because nobody in the heavyweight division hits harder than Deontay Wilder, and Usyk has never been hit with the force, the strength, and the velocity that Deontay Wilder possesses in a punch. This could either be a very brilliant idea for Oleksandr Usyk or a bad idea, depending on how he fares in a potential matchup between himself and the Bronze Bomber. However, I will say this: if Usyk beats Deontay Wilder better than Fury did, shit, man, listen. Usyk may start to look like Evander Holyfield to Tyson Fury's Mike Tyson at this point in this situation. We can see a cruiserweight come up through the heavyweight division and dominate the top guys, and then dominate the top guys before getting the Goliath, the ultimate giant, out of the way. And if Usyk does that, if he beats Deontay Wilder, then he goes and beats Tyson Fury, shit, man, he got to claim he is the greatest heavyweight of this era. Which we've seen, like, the heavyweight division get revitalized in the last, I want to say since 2016, around that time, we've seen the heavyweight division get revitalized. And again, man, this is Usyk's best chance. This is Usyk's chance to show that he is the premier guy, the cream of the crop in the heavyweight division, and is a guy that wasn't naturally a heavyweight, which is a great claim for him. And again, he'll be a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame at that point. Honestly, he in the Hall of Fame right now for becoming undisputed champion at the cruiserweight level and then becoming champion at the heavyweight level. Usyk's best chance to win in this fight is to keep moving in the ring, to constantly put Deontay Wilder on his back foot, because Deontay doesn't fight well on his back foot, right? But again, man, Deontay is so awkward and he's not conventional. It's hard to prepare for him. You can't get a sparring partner in the ring to mimic what Deontay Wilder does. It's not going to be the same. Even if he can try to mimic the movements and the punching and the awkward angles, he doesn't have that power. So a guy you can't simulate the power that Deontay Wilder has. So it still could be an interesting thing to see how Usyk will be able to adjust to that. But again, man, I'm excited. I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. It's a chance for him to, if he defeats Robert Helenius, because I'm not moving past Robert Helenius, because I know he can be dangerous for Deontay Wilder. I got Deontay Wilder winning that fight by knockout, no later than, like, what I say? I'm trying to remember that. I say the 8th round, something like that. But, you still can't look past him. But this is a chance for Deontay Wilder to become 2-time heavyweight champion. And then Usyk can make his claim as one of the greatest heavyweights of the modern era if he beats Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So, man, I love this fight. I love this fight, and I love what's happening in the heavyweight division. What's happening in the heavyweight division is absolutely amazing. Nothing short of that. But I'm going to tell you right now, in any fight, I'm rooting for the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder. Machiavelli Mills TV, y'all let me know what y'all think about the fight and the potential fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video as well. I'm out. Peace.